live. Share on your thingies if you can.
Just in case.
Okay.
They told me to, so I gotta do it.
Who's that song? That who made the song "Use Your Love"? I just wanna use your love.
I know the answer to this.
tonight. What's the band?
The Outfield.
Oh,
How
I didn't know
That's
that.
not common knowledge. That's
What?
the only hit they had.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's. I don't know the band name. I just know that song.
Okay.
But are we ready?
All right.
The Outfield.
Are we ready to rock?
Yeah. Are we? Is the board working or
No,
we
we gotta get a USB C plug for it.
All right, then let's party.
All right, y'all.
Talk it over.
In 5, 4, 3.
Yo, Maniacs. This is at Loud and Brown, completely mesmerized and blown away that our super producer just started our timer with a remote. Can we get a high five for that one?
Bravo.
Oh, remote.
High tech.
Technology.
Thank you to our Patreons.
Maniacs, this is episode 48 of Salt Tier Podcast, the video game podcast where your argument is...
Helen.
Rickshaw.
Rickshaw.
Your argument is rickshaw. We are coming to you from Studio 212 here in South Lake Union, Seattle, Washington, and part of the Soundcasting Network. Thank you so kindly. We have our super producer in house. This is the Prince of Parmesan, the region of Rigatoni.
Stop.
He says stop. Says the Emperor Elote.
Mm.
Elote is really good.
Says the Lieutenant of Linguini. Oh.
We're gonna have to restart that.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
we're restarting.
All of you guys live, this is the magic. This is the magic you're seeing right here.
Yep, you can check it out in our SoundCloud
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
and watch the editing happen. All of what's about to happen is going to be cut out. Hoorah.
Five,
Oh.
4, 3.
Maniacs, once again, I am perplexed by watching technology in action. I just saw the timer here at Salt Tier Podcast started with a remote control. I'm not going to pretend to be as excited as last time, but I'm still blown away that we have a button for that.
Studio Magic.
Studio Magic!
Thank you, Patreons.
Thank you, Patreon. This is Salt Tier episode 48 here at Studio 212, South Lake Union, Seattle, Washington. And we are brought to you by the Soundcasting Network. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you.
I got a single clap. Thank you, Reaper. And I want to say a big thank you and what's up to New Belgium Brewing.
Most definitely. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Now, New Belgium Brewing is employee-owned, like an independent brewer, but like an actual one. Be careful. A lot of your favorite suds might actually be owned by a conglomerate, like Anheuser-Busch or Anheuser-Busch.
Or Tencent. Does Tencent make beer yet? They will.
Probably. Tsingtao? Have you had Tsingtao?
Or Orion.
Tsingtao is rough. That is a rough beer to get
I
through.
don't know. Orion is really good. Asahi is good too.
Asahi?
Asahi, sorry.
Hai. Wakarimasu. That's Japanese. But yeah, Tsingtao is like, whatever. We won't get into that. Well,
That's for the How to Be a Better Drinker podcast.
That
Also
is
available here on Soundcasting Network.
also available. So, speaking of New Belgium Brewing, we want to thank them and Lauren. Hashtag live dangerously. And remember, it's B Corp certified. And, no, I already said that it was employee owned, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
It is employee owned, yes.
All right.
That's important.
Yeah. Right now, in front of us, what do we got? Juicy Haze IPA?
Every time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Every time.
And remember, if Sage Bell was correct last time by saying this one kicks a little bit. This one is at 7.5 ABV.
Yes, it does. It'll get you loose.
It'll get loosey-goosey. But thank you. And we will move on because that is a lot of things. And we're going to start off with intros.
But they are very compact.
They are compact.
Much like we are.
We are compact
Whatever
today.
that
We
means.
fit in a nice little package.
Nice little package. And I'm going to go around the rectangle and introduce myself first. I am at Loud and Brown. At Loud and Brown on Instagram and Twitter. I am Gross Def on PS4 and whatever, Steam will happen eventually. Eventually. It was supposed to happen at PAX this last year, but I think we just kept playing Tekken. And I kept being like, hey, does anyone want to play Cuphead? Anyone want to play Lethal League? Anyone want to play any of these other games? And people are like, nah, man, we're playing Tekken. All I played this week is Tekken, a little bit of Overwatch. I don't even think I sparked up.
Oh, you went back to
Apex.
Overwatch?
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah, I played a little bit. Got some Halloween stuff. I didn't know if there was new Halloween stuff. There was not. There is no new modes. So,
Thanks,
whatever.
China.
Yeah, thanks, China. No new modes. Well, apparently, according to the sources, they are too busy working on Overwatch 2. So, whatever. I know, such excite. Much wow.
Jazz hands, bro.
Jazz hands. And really, I played a little bit of Tekken. I actually was at a show 2 days ago, and they had a Tekken 3 cabinet, and I played a little bit of that. I forgot how bad I am at 3. I can body 2. I beat 2 all the time, but something about 3 is like really janky movement in it.
Hey, man, let me get that code to unlock Gone, though.
God.
Have fun hitting me, bro.
Yeah. It depends on the characters. So I main King, and King is very good against Gon because he has the what are those called? The the low kicks.
I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he could like chain 4 in a row and not knock Gon over. So Gon just takes damage on all 4 of those. And you could basically kill Gon with just those. And that's certain characters, right? Same thing with Kazuya. He's got like the triple like floor Tatsus.
Mm-hmm.
So Gon loses to that. This is getting really technical on something. But that's about it. And aside from following me on Instagram and Twitter, I forgot to introduce ourselves. We are Salt_TierPod on Instagram and Twitter, and Salt Tier Podcast on everything else. Please like, subscribe, and follow. That is SoundCloud.
All the things.
SoundCloud,
Google Play.
Google Play,
Stitcher.
Stitcher. I always forget Stitcher.
Spotify.
All the things.
All the things. Basically anywhere, iTunes, anywhere you can listen to podcasts.
And now we are on, well, we're now officially 2 episodes behind, but we have a bulk of our video episodes on the YouTube.
Yes.
Woo!
So if you want to see us make fools of ourselves instead of just listening to us.
But we good looking.
That is true. It does make up for it.
And you get to see the beautiful beer that we are provided, which is the whole reason we got the sponsorship. Is everybody's like, is everybody watching and drinking? Like, yeah. It's like,
Yes.
would you like to drink our stuff? I'm like,
Yes.
yes. And I guess from there, I will move on and swing this to the left. Everything I swing is in a box to the left.
Oh, shit. What's up, guys? It's Goon PNW here. Catch me at Goon PNW on most of my social media tags. It's Twitter, Instagram. I don't exist on Facebook anymore. Thanks, Zuck. But I haven't really been doing much. I just moved. So I moved to a brand new place last Saturday. It's a lot better. I'm now 10 minutes away from the studio, and I'm 30 minutes from work during rush hour.
Nice.
And then on rush hour home, it's only like 40 minutes.
Nice.
So I'm blessed, bro.
For those of you scratching your head, that's like light speed in Seattle traffic.
I was driving for pretty much like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes like beforehand. So this change is really great. I get like another 20 minutes of sleep. But yeah, aside from that, I haven't really had a chance to play stuff because I'm waiting for a Netgear Powerline to come in so I can start online gaming again. So I can't do that till tomorrow. So I've just been working on promoting Bonus Round. If you guys forgot, we have Bonus Round coming this month for Tekken. It's our theme this month. So we're going to expect a lot of people. It's going to be a packed house. Come hang out with us. Watch some people compete for a $300 prize pool. Maybe compete yourself. Show me what you got, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys there.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got. So be sure to check us out. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the 23rd. So I'm going to pass this directly across from me. So who do I have here?
You got the save rings, ... You won't really find me on too many places. If you're in the Steam group, you'll see me online, ping me. But that's really about it. Originally, way back in the olden times when we first started the first podcast, which won't be named, kind of the theme around it was like gaming as an adult. You know, when you don't have like 10 hours a game to 10 hours a day to game, you can still squeeze that in though if you're creative. Yeah, but you know, adulting and responsibilities and
I maybe get like 4 hours of gaming a day if I'm lucky,
and traffic and these types of things. You know, trying to maintain healthy relationships, all that boring shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been playing I have been playing, but I've been squeezing it in between all of my adulting. So when I do play, I've been playing, of course, my Idols game here and there, Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realm. I haven't really played it too much in the last couple of weeks. I've been sick. And I've also been messing around with Stellaris as they added a new a race as a DLC, and there was a major patch today, so I'm interested to go check that out. I can get into the new race later because it's kind of crazy. I know you guys aren't really up on it, but if I described it, you'd be like, "What the hell?" So that's really what I've been doing gaming-wise. I haven't really been watching any esports or any tournaments or any Twitch or anything like that. I've just mostly been gaming. I have picked up a new old game. There was a new server for it that launched on Thursday, and I'll get into that as it ties into one of our early topics here. But other than that, yeah, find me on Steam. It's like the most consistent place. Join our group. We're still at 32 members. Got a ton of games to give away now when we hit 50 members. So tell your friends and all that kind of stuff.
Tell your friends.
Yes. And I will leave a link to the Steam page on our Facebook page.
It is steam.com.
Steam.com. And I think I put in a custom URL for our page. But basically just Google Saltier Podcast Steam and you'll find our Steam page.
Well, wicked. Happy winter, everybody. Jesus.
Yep.
And
We got that daylight savings coming up.
Oh, do we?
Did we already have that though?
No, it's coming up.
It's coming up.
It's
Okay.
this
Ew.
weekend.
Was that the last one? Was that? God damn,
We're rolling
time's
back
going by
the
so
clocks,
fast.
guys. We get an hour of sleep, kinda.
We get a kind of. It's everything is just a construct.
Yep. Time, all that stuff.
Well,
Before we move on, should we shout
yeah.
out all the way to my far right, over in the
Whoa.
Off screen.
I meant
for those
literally.
watching the
I
live
meant
stream.
literally.
Not politically.
I meant literally. Yeah.
politically to the far right, we
Yes.
have.
Yes, we have returning someone who hasn't been with us here for a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and say what's up
Do you wanna
for the people?
Peek in the mic over here for a second.
Yep.
Hi, it's your girl Rena.
How you? How you?
I've been playing Breath of the Wild,
Nice.
and I turned 27th this month, so
Nice. Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Belated
That's-
birthday.
that's
Yeah.
about it.
Nice.
Tight.
Breath of the
Sick,
Wild.
nasty, bro.
Speaking of which, I went to like a kid's Halloween party on Saturday night, and there was a kid dressed as Link from Wind Waker, and this other kid goes, "Oh, cool! Look, mommy, Zelda," and the kid's like, Actually, I'm Link."
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good job with
Yes,
that kid.
yes.
That kid specifically.
But was that kid throwing around vases and cracking them open?
And not speaking, just yelling, yeah,
Yeah.
and throwing chickens.
Flashing chickens. But yeah, I thought that was funny. Little game humor there. So good to see you, Kat.
Thank you.
And with that, we're gonna.
And with that, we're moving on to good news.
So we're
Yes.
going to be separating today's episode in the good and the bad and probably the ugly towards the end of it.
Yeah, the miscellaneous. Basically, this is like a two-tone show. Originally coming in, I had all this. I was going to dump on a bunch of greedy corporations because they got their comeuppance in like the last week or two. And
It usually happens at like the end of the year. We did this kind of thing like last
year
too.
with the whole Blizzard thing.
yeah,
Yep.
with the whole Blizzard and the Riot thing at the time.
Yes, and we are going to get back into Blizzard because they are in the news and they will be in the news
Oh,
this weekend for
they will
sure.
definitely be in the news this weekend.
So yeah, you're correct. It's always around this time of the year these guys like lose it. But instead of going all negative and just dumping on things, I figured we start off with like the good news, of which there was quite a bit also
Yeah.
this week as well.
This first bit of good news is actually it's less gaming related and more of a psychological thing.
Yes.
So you want to dive into that and tell us a
Well,
little about
basically, here, let me pull the article up here. Basically, there's a study that finds this was done by actually Oxford University.
it. Oh, all right. There's an accredited one.
Very accredited. Basically, in their study, their survey, they found no link between video games and addiction as far as it being a disorder.
Weird, bro.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Who knew?
For real.
We were talking about this just before we went live, and we were saying it's kind of like video games are kind of like weed.
Yeah.
They kind of make you more of what you already are.
The video games it's basically the thing itself isn't what makes you addicted to it. It's the personality that you have that makes you addicted.
Exactly.
To it.
And
So
video games could be anything.
if you have an
just
addicted
like-
personality, you could be addicted to cigarettes. You could be addicted to drinking.
You ever watch that show, My Weird Hobby, with the people that eat toilet paper and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, it could be anything, man.
for eating
Yeah,
shoestrings
what
or something
is that?
like.
Toilet paper?
The lady that ate her whole mattress, she's eaten like 4 mattresses in her lifetime. Yeah.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah, that she was on that show.
Yeah,
So stuff
wild.
like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people that just played video games, and it doesn't really matter what your political affiliations was either. Like, I think everyone universally came to the fact that if you were an actual gamer, like gaming disorders or gaming addiction isn't a thing. Like, I feel like it was just like a last minute like patch up ploy to like used by parents to justify not letting their kids play video games.
Sometimes it gets called into question, like just this last week when Fortnite pulled their whole, like, everything got sucked into a black hole. I just recently saw some videos of kids reacting to that, and grown-ups reacting to that, and people punching screens and, like, throwing controllers. And everybody's like, dude, it's a marketing thing. Like that's the point. It's supposed to drive you crazy for like a day or two so you get hyped for the next thing.
They don't really need to keep the game going for like 2 or 3 days. They can afford to have the game not be played for
The
that
game was
period.
still making money for them even when they was shut down for like 2 days. That's ridiculous.
How?
Just all the press it was getting, their
I
website,
see.
and
I
like
thought you meant like microtransactions.
No.
and like the Epic Game Store getting hit up, people logging into the Epic Game Store to see if it's really down, and they're like, oh, there's a sale too, and like who knows? Like if they captured 1% of the people that logged in out of curiosity, that's a shit ton of sales.
That's profits.
Yep.
Well,
So-
Jeezy, crazy.
So that's about it on that. But speaking of gaming addictions, this is what I alluded to earlier. The other game that I had left off that I began playing was I started playing classic EverQuest. I ditched my WoW. I canceled my account. I uninstalled Battle.net because human rights and just
Tencent.
basic human shit. Tencent. We'll get to them too.
What? Don't you guys have human rights?
We'll get to them too. Yeah. Don't you guys have phones? Yeah, we do. But you guys facial recognize us with us and tear gases. But anyway, and the whole thing with Apple shutting down that app because people were using it to communicate. Yeah.
Thumbs down
yeah.
for those who can't see the live stream.
Yeah, they're up there too. Well, basically, what was I going on about? Oh, so the game I picked up, EverQuest, classic EverQuest.
oh,
Yes. So for those that don't know, EverQuest is like the granddaddy of the popular modern MMO. There were definitely MMOs before it. They were definitely very niche, but lots of people played them, but they were very niche. They weren't very well known in the mainstream. EverQuest, which was originally a Sony Online entertainment product,
I do remember that.
which bugged me out when I first started playing it. It's basically the forefather of WoW. WoW spawned from that. About a third of the original WoW development team was picked from their EverQuest team, and a couple of the very prominent guild leaders and very prominent popular players back then were also handpicked and helped and contribute in the development of World of Warcraft. And basically, World of Warcraft is like, let's make EverQuest, but not impossible like EverQuest is. Like, it's still going to be difficult. You're still going to have your challenges, but like, let's at least like let you know who to talk to for quests. Like have a description of what you'll get for quests. Like when you die, you don't have to, like, when a dragon kills you, you don't have to run back naked and try to steal your body back that's underneath the dragon still with all your gear and all your money on it.
Oh man.
Otherwise known as corpse runs. So I started playing that. There's an offshoot. It's made by an independent development team. They do this in their free time. It's called Project 99, and basically the idea behind that was to recreate classic EverQuest, which is EverQuest and its first 2 expansion packs, which ran from 1999 to 2001. That's considered classic EverQuest. But basically, these guys have been they've had 2 servers up. The first one opened in 2009, which was the 10th anniversary of EverQuest launching, and recently, last Thursday. There's a green server, there's a blue server, which was like the main server. There's a red server, which is PvP, and they just opened a green server, which is just straight up EverQuest, no expansions, right from the beginning. And the cool thing about this is they're going to release all the updates and all the expansions in real time, how they were released back in the day, and bump it up to fully classic EverQuest. So, for example, the first expansion pack came out a year after the main game. So November 2020, the first expansion pack will come out for this. So you get to play and EverQuest is also, I avoided it on purpose for the first year it was out because I kept looking at it. I worked at EB Games at the time too, full disclosure. I kept looking at it and I was like, I'm gonna get hooked on this. Like, I can't play this. Like, this looks like way too unique and cool. Like, I'll get hooked on it. If it's as cool as I'm thinking it is, I'm gonna get hooked on it. And I had customers that would come in and talk to me about it and try to talk me into it, and I'm like, nah, man, get out of here. But basically, the second expansion was the Ruins of Canark, and then you could play as the Ixar, which are lizard people, and how can you forget? I couldn't resist that. I get to play as a lizard man now. Is that what you're telling me? So that's what jumped in, and it's probably like the game I played the most in my life.
Isn't EverQuest 2 still a thing right now?
It is, and actually the original EverQuest is as well. There's still about 200 to 400,000 people that log onto the servers daily. To put that in perspective, if that game was exclusively on Steam, it'd be in the top 5 games played on Steam, which is pretty crazy considering that game is 20 years old last year, and last year they released their 25th expansion pack for it, and there's still a couple 100,000 people playing that game strong. So I started playing that, and it's awesome. If any of you want to play with me, just like leave us a little something on the Facebook page. I will definitely see that, and we can work something out. Right now I'm only level 2. Technically I'm level 4 because I started 2 different characters. They're both level 2. But yeah, excited to get into that. It's probably my favorite video game of all time. I will leave a link to one of the videos on our Facebook page. So that was good. That launched. Nice little bit of nostalgia. And still a really solid, if not extremely difficult game to play.
Oh, show.
What we got next? You had this as well as I did, so you
Yes.
want to go ahead and introduce this one?
Oh, they finally announced it. People didn't think it actually was going to happen, but Death Stranding is actually coming to PC. So if for any of those who know anything about our podcast here, we're pretty avid about PC gaming. So
If you can help it.
Yep.
If you can help it.
hearing about Death Stranding coming to PC kind of eliminates the need for us to really buy it on PS4, because I personally like playing Death Stranding with the ability to clock it in as high of a graphical resolution as possible.
But yeah, a game like this,
I
you
feel
want
like
it to
that's a
look pretty.
game that like has to be enjoyed that way. And you know, like I'm
No
very
compromises.
I'm very much about, like, you know, if you just want to play the game for the story, like, and graphics don't really matter to you that much, like, go ahead, go for it. Like, if this is more of like the connoisseur in me kind of wants to see it in this kind of way. So along with that being that Red Dead Redemption is also coming to PC, and I've already beaten Red Dead Redemption 2 like 3 times over on PS4, and I will gladly do it again on PC, this time with
For our
better
producer
resolution.
Keith with 144 hertz HDR horse testicles. Let's do
Those
it.
horse testicles coming
I'm bringing
boy.
it in. We have our RTX
And
2080
you
in
can
our
watch you can watch the horse shit in high resolution graphics too.
Yeah, we got our RTX 2080 in our rendering box here. We're gonna fire that bad
Like,
boy
you'll just
up.
walk up to your horse, and like your horse is taking a nice old shit, and you get on the horse, and
We might
he's
do
like,
we might do a reacts video. Keith reacts to
horse
the
testicles.
horse testicles.
We'll do Steve's reaction to horse testicles on IG.
Nice. All right, yeah. Check our IG.
They're so magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, like,
Look at the girth on that guy.
oh my god, but yeah, I'm sorry. That's basically. I'm really excited for that. I still have no idea what the fuck Death Stranding is about. And they've released a ton of information and like these commercials, and I'm like, I don't know what the story really is, and they're still kind of cryptic on their story, like, and what the actual point is. So I'm really excited to just get into nitty gritty and play it.
I think I have it broken down a little bit. I think there's gonna be it's like Stranger Things, like those demons and all that weird stuff. It's like the Upside Down. It's bleeding into our world, and those babies somehow are a link between the two, and they can help you detect it and stuff. And if you get trapped in the other world, they're kind of like your bridge back, kind of like 11 is with Stranger Things. I think
can see that.
I think it's something along those lines. It's like a grown up weird.
But what are
Kojima.
the babies for?
The babies are the link. The babies are the link between it. Like, that's why they carry them. They're like their security system. Like, the babies know like when that stuff's popping off around you. And if you get sucked into that other dimension, they're kind of your bridge back. They're kind of like your anchor back. They're
Oh, I
like
can see
they're
that.
kind of like your familiar. Yeah, that's basically what they are. They're like your familiars. If you're into like D&D or anything like that, you know what's up with, or vampires, and you know what's up with familiars.
Well, regardless, like, I'm looking forward to. They haven't really announced a release date for the PC version yet, but or did they?
Summer of 2020.
Nice.
So it's not an exact date, but figure from like May to August, somewhere in there.
That's actually pretty cool. I look forward to that. I look forward to Red Dead Redemption on PC along with that too.
It was actually in the original tweet when the game was first announced. He said PC and eventually he said PS4 and eventually PC. The tweet got since taken down. On the PlayStation Store, it was listed as an exclusive, and until about a month ago, it got taken down as an exclusive, and then this happened.
Do you know where it's being ported into? Like, is it going to be for Steam? Is it going to be for?
It's probably going to be on Epic Games for like 6 months or something like that, but it's fine. It's fine. At least it's on PC, and you know it eventually.
I
will
haven't
come to
played
Steam.
Borderlands 3 yet because I'm waiting for that Steam release, and
And from
it
what
is
I hear,
testing my patience.
and from what I hear, it's kind of good because I hear there are some like game-breaking things in that game. So maybe they need some time to work some things out. So maybe it's for the best. Maybe it's for the best. We're going to talk about some more delayed games here coming up here in a second anyway.
But what else we got going on here? Oh, we got Command and Conquer.
Command and
For
Conquer.
those who don't remember that game, that was probably one of the best RTS games ever made.
Ever. Yeah. And Red Alert are going to both get PC remasters, full HD textures all the way up to 4K.
Alarm.
I'm a mechanical man. Basically, I'm stoked because, yeah, like you were saying, Command and Conquer is like my shit. That's like one of my favorite games of all time. It definitely is.
Before StarCraft, there was Command and Conquer.
Yeah. Yeah. It went Warcraft, Command and Conquer, and then StarCraft. Yep. Pretty much in that order. So
And then a bunch of copycats.
yeah, and then Red Alert, and then that was pretty much it. Everything else after that was pretty much. After that, you started getting into like the Total Annihilation games and things like that.
I don't know, man. I really like Total Annihilation.
Yeah, but like those games where it was broken up by squads, and you were like controlling massive armies, instead of like your little local thing to like conquer one map. Like that's when you started getting into like a home world and things like that. So yeah, but like those are like your OG, like bedrock RTSs right there.
For sure.
So yeah, awesome news.
That's pretty exciting. I haven't played Command and Conquer in God knows fucking how long.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of the first one because I've been dying to play that game for a long time, and I did pick it up and play it maybe about 4 years ago, but it was so pixelated and stuff. So remaster would be fantastic.
So what we got going on next? What is this about Intel?
We've talked about this on the show. Sometimes we have our little tech fappy sections. This is kind of important, whether you realize it or not. Right now, the two main players in the game, and I say two, it's technically one, and the other one's kind of like nipping at the heels of the other. The two main players in mainstream gaming graphics, you have NVIDIA and you have AMD. AMD is what powers what's in your console. Both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 both utilize AMD technology for the CPU and the GPU. The Switch has NVIDIA Tegra technology in it. But basically, Intel, the world's largest chip manufacturer, and also the largest graphics manufacturer, because a lot of their chips come with integrated graphics. So by default, those are the most prolific, the largest market share. They're like something like 60 or 70% with NVIDIA and AMD taking up the rest. But they have discrete standalone graphics cards coming out. So it's going to be really interesting to see them be a third major player with a lot of backing behind them coming in to disrupt the industry. So it'll be interesting to see how both NVIDIA and AMD respond, and if these cards are even going to be good. So the big news now is these cards are actually alive. They're being shipped to board partners who will make the aftermarket ones, and people are testing them. So it's like not just this announcement. It's not just this thing on paper. People actually have prototypes in hand and are running tests and setting things up for them. So we're like that one step
And they're
closer.
called Intel.
Yeah, they're the Intel Xe, capital X, little e.
And these are their line of GPUs?
Yep. Totally discrete graphics cards. They have some really cool features in it that have already been copied and implemented in NVIDIA and AMD software already. There's a feature, I think I discussed this on the show a while back, where they have this feature where if you play retro games or you play emulators, it'll help with the automatic scaling, make all your older games look and run more accurate to how they ran on CRTs and stuff like that, and sharpen them up. Since then, both AMD and NVIDIA have introduced firmware and software updates to their cards, which kind of do the same thing. So even before these cards came out, they were already kind of kicking the other two to like innovate and do something new, so, which is good. It's all good. Like the more competition, we as a consumer benefit from that. So it'd be interesting to see them throw their stuff into the ring, and it'll be really cool in the future once they can shrink this down and put this as integrated graphics, where your little crappy $400 Intel laptop can actually play games like very well. Like that'll be an interesting thing moving forward, maybe in another 2 or 3 years after these come out. So yeah, definitely something to keep your eyes on, and I thought I mentioned it here on the show just as a bookmark, so we can go back to it.
I look forward to see what it's capable of. So
Definitely, me too. Yeah.
Especially seeing if it can be an actual competitor to like NVIDIA and like AMD.
And if any company's got money to throw at this and to throw at the marketing and to kind of
Intel.
strong arm their way into it, it's definitely it's Intel.
Hands down it's Intel.
Yeah, Intel. Yep.
So, this next news coming up here, I'm kind of bittersweet about it.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
I'm a little bittersweet about this. But apparently EA is hinting at returning to Steam. So I don't know if you guys know the significance of that, but if you guys know anything about EA, they have their own proprietary software booting program called Origin.
Origin, yeah. In 2011, they started pulling their stuff off of Steam, and they launched Origin with what was it, Battlefield Bad Company 2?
I don't remember,
I
but
want to say it was Bad Company 2.
It was a really shitty move. That's all I can tell you.
I had to give them props because it was low, it was lightweight, and it kind of stayed out of the way. Like, and it played nice with Steam. It wasn't conflicting with anything. And another cool feature is if you owned a game in your Steam library that was already EA game, when you open up Origin, it would just add it to your Origin library. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
I don't know. Who are we going to trust here? PC Gamer, Tech Radar, or VG247?
What's up? What they saying?
I don't know. All three of them are headlines on my...
Headlines
Oh,
for
you're
what?
yeah.
London didn't send me one link. London just sent me a Google search. Thank you.
Yes.
That's the
So basically, before the
snarkiest
show,
shit ever.
Loud and Brown was asking us, like, now that Kotaku and IGN are like clickbait, like
Clickbait, biased ass
weird,
articles.
inconsistent
Garbage.
You guys already know. Like who's the go-to for news?
And to be honest with you, there's not really much we
Yeah.
can go to.
And whatever happened to Layla Kiley? What was her name?
Oh yeah,
From The Fix?
yeah. She was
Oh, man.
British. She was like Indian British.
She's
She
also-
was lovely.
Super easy on the eyes.
Yes. What happened to her? I don't know. She's probably
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe like a news anchor somewhere.
Moved on. Probably.
We're just going to go with Tech Radar because we talked about Tech Radar last time.
But like
Tech Radar's good.
this will be good because of the fact that, you know, like we talked about this before the show started, is that I have the Mass Effect trilogy. I bought it on disc, and it basically imported into Origin so that I didn't need the disc anymore. It just showed that I owned the game, so it would just download for me. So for the ability for that to just be downloaded on Steam now, and I can boot it up and run it through Steam, is going to be so nice because I really hardly ever use Origin, and when I do turn on Origin, 9 times out of 10 is to play Mass Effect. So
Yeah.
I don't want additional software that I'm not going to use
Yeah.
to clutter up my shit.
Yeah.
So
This
this
is-
will be a nice change.
It is a nice change, and it opens up options. It opens up choice, and that's always excellent for the consumer. If you have an EA game that you're playing a lot, like let's say Battlefield, like what if they put Battlefield games back on Steam? You can use your Steam matchmaking service to like join games and stuff like that, and it would work with the Origin service. Like that'd be great. That'd be more people playing the game, which is what you want in a game like that. So yeah,
That's how you make your money
it
too.
could be nothing but good stuff
Yeah.
at that point. So
for real.
I hope this is true. It's looking like it is. This was actually originally discovered when a Reddit user named Robot Brush was looking through some of the code for Origin, and he saw that there was a test application in the code that would allow you to run Origin games through Steam. So that was the first thing, and he tweeted it. And then maybe about a week later, EA kind of tweeted a picture of an EA branded cup
Yeah, we just
with coffee in it and
London
Steam coming
just
out.
linked it to our page.
Yep.
So it's actually a tweet of a video
Yes, of a cup with Steam coming out
of
of
a cup and no description. All it shows is steam coming out of an EA cup, and I'm like,
Yep.
all right,
it's very clever.
that's clever.
it. Yep. So
Very clever.
sometimes EA and those big companies, sometimes they do things right.
Maybe that they're looking at their mistakes and they're like, you know what? Hey, let's not fuck up for once.
Maybe they're looking at-
let's not be the butt end of the joke.
Maybe
for-
they saw how bad they got flamed for making Command and Conquer a mobile pay-to-win game last year that we talked about here on the show. And now they're like, hey, maybe people will just want Command and Conquer. Let's just give
People,
them that.
what they want is a mobile Diablo game. That's what they want.
Yeah, we have phones.
Don't you
right?
guys have phones?
Come on, dude.
We'll get to that.
But
So yeah, that'd be great. I would love to see my EA games back on Steam. That'd be great.
thank you.
And then we're gonna have a little break. This break is brought to you by New Belgium Brewing. Same people that brought us the episode. And we're sipping. We're sipping at it. I said it already, but I was fortunate enough to play the release of one of their new beers. They played at Numos, and I got to play a concert.
Those are the pictures. You should post some of those.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
beer?
yeah.
What beer?
It was the Avenger IPA.
Oh, they're really about the IPAs.
Yeah, especially the Voodoo Ranger brand is primarily about that. Like that's their whole thing. But New Belgium has so many other things. Oh, sorry, the Hop Avenger is what it's called. And on the chat, I think there you go. Thank you, London. Got a little link for you to go check it out. And all their other beautiful beers. Once again, let me pick up a thing, make sure I'm not forgetting something lovely to talk about. They are brewed and canned, Fort Collins, Colorado. Employee owned, B Corp certified. Did I mention it's delicious?
Yeah, I think we did.
Hashtag live dangerously. And in front of us, not only do we have the Voodoo Ranger, we also have like they have Mural and Passion Fruit, which are like completely different beers from the Voodoo Ranger.
I personally
line.
like the Mural a lot.
Morale's pretty gnarly. That goes down real easy.
Really nice.
Real easy. It's almost like they call them session beers because it's like 4%. You just have like a handful of them. It's like half of the alcohol of the Juicy Haze IPA.
Yep.
Yeah. That way you won't like, I won't like reactivate Twitter and just start swiping at randos. Be like, I know what I'm doing. That said, we're going to continue on. We've been talking about Death Stranding, GPUs, pasta, good news, pasta, EA, and pasta. And we are moving on to not good news.
Are we to that part of the show?
We are to that part of the show.
We're to the negative Nancy part of the show, so I hope all that good news at the beginning like really lifted you guys' spirit, because we're going to bring it down a notch.
Prepare yourselves.
Or bring it up, because this is all kind of a win for us as gamers. This is what we've all been kind of bitching about for the last, like, I don't know how long. But a lot of these companies are starting to get their comeuppance, and it's kind of fucking sweet, if you ask me.
And
I
also-
mean, we had the same conversation about this kind of last year when we talked about
Like right around exactly this time
Blizzard
last year.
and Riot shitting the bed specifically, with Riot's big old misogyny case going on that last year, and Blizzard's fiasco with the.
Do you not have phones?
Mobile.
Is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
I guess not.
So we're gonna start off with something I didn't write up there, and I just remembered while we were starting to record this podcast. This is Mario Kart World Tour. We spoke about this Mario Kart World Tour coming out on iOS and Android devices. I was actually playing it. I think I mentioned it on the show. I was actually playing it a little bit. Looks fantastic. It looks like a Mario Kart game. It's still got all the charm and everything, but other than that, it is just a mess. It's just riddled with daily logins and gotcha gimmicks. It's just
Again,
blah.
when we brought this up few weeks ago,
I think we were talking about it was $5 a month to
and
play
I
as
was,
Mario.
I was like, bro, just buy Mario Kart 8 and get a Switch, and you will never have to worry about gotcha bullshit again.
there you go.
Like, why would you I kept questioning, I was like, why would you buy a mobile for the convenience? But Switch is a mobile console, so just buy a Switch and get Mario Kart 8 instead
And
of
it's-
spending $5 a month to play this stupid
and it's
game.
cheaper than your Samsung Galaxy phone or whatever you're playing on anyway.
It's $300. A regular size Switch, $300. A Switch Lite is $200. You telling me that you don't have $200 that you want to invest into a system that you're going to use for like 4 years? Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So basically, this was it was the most downloaded game of the quarter, and it's weird, and that's pretty awesome considering it came out a week before the quarter ended. As far as like when they track these stats and things like that, it was the number 3 most ranked game overall. And here we are a couple weeks later, and it's not even in the top 100. So everybody downloaded it and was like, "This is garbage," and then stopped playing it pretty much like instantaneously.
They're going to take off the $5 a month.
Yeah, so Nintendo was like, "Nope, we did the thing, nope," and that's what's going on with that. So getting
Nintendo to
greedy.
this day is like, we talked about this before too, but they kind of remind me of like that grandparent that doesn't know how the internet works.
Yes.
And then they ask you to like troubleshoot the most basic of shit because they don't know how to get their act together.
Or they're like that friend or older relative that knows a little bit about technology, but they're still kind of like old fashioned. You're like, "Hey, why don't you get a Blu-ray player because you like those HD movies?" And they're like, "Nah, I'm good with my Roku." And I know there's anything wrong with Roku. I use Roku, but like they're kind of stuck in their ways.
Stuck in their ways.
Yeah. So
We're talking about your net code, kind of, might want to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yep. So that happened to Nintendo. Good on them. Yeah. Everybody clapped for Nintendo falling on their face on that one. Get out of here.
For
with that.
once, they fucked up. They usually don't fuck up that often, but
They kind of do. Remember the whole Pokemon Go first meeting thing that they had in Chicago with like zero Wi-Fi, and
I felt like
kind
that
of a
was
hot
less
mess.
Nintendo and more of the company that made.
Hey, that's
Pokemon Go.
Nintendo. Their name was on that. They own 40% of that company. Like that's on them too.
What's the name of that company?
But it makes sense though that it was them because shitty internet. That's Nintendo. That's what they specialize in. It's
Well,
like
when they had a group of, like a giant demographic group of people congregate in one area to
They
do
should-
cellular reception, if anyone who ever goes to conventions or just gatherings where there's a fuck ton of people, you're not gonna get good reception. It doesn't matter where you are, who your provider is, what your phone is.
Especially when you're in a heavily populated downtown area like Chicago, surrounded by the world's tallest skyscrapers for like one city pretty much. Like, you're gonna get your cell phone signal blocked and throttled and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I put that on Nintendo because it's their property with their name on it, and they suck at internet, so it made sense that the internet was balls when nothing happened.
That's fair.
So yeah, but anyway, let's move on to Ubisoft. Ubisoft
boy.
had to go back on their financial targets and lower them because Ghost Recon Breakpoint kind of also melted down and blew up in their face.
Was it a bomb?
Yes, relatively it was a bomb. The microtransaction store was definitely not a thing. I played the beta, and I went to click on my items to go see, like, ooh, like, okay, like, let me see. Because I shot a drone, and the drone dropped boots. Yes, that happened.
Okay.
And I looted the boots, and I was like, oh, like, what are these other slots? Because like other empty clothing slots. And I click on it, and it took me out of the game and opened up a browser page, which took me to a microtransaction-filled store. And I was like, the fuck is this? And the mechanics, it's not very, very different from the Division 2, which I only played for about 10 hours and then put down. Not to say it's a bad game, it actually is good, but it was like more of the same. And Ghost Recon's was more of the same of more of the same. And the AI is kind of dumb, and there's glitches. I didn't run into too many, but people are complaining and documenting glitches.
You know, I'm okay with microtransactions to a certain extent. Because I played League of Legends for a very long time, and microtransactions was a really big part of League of Legends. But the thing that made it very nice and convenient for me was they didn't shove it in your face, right? They didn't do what you just said about them taking you to a hyperlink to
Took
another,
me out of the
game
game
into like a web page. And the thing is, like, they're very discreet. Like, they have a shop page. You open up the shop, you can see what's on sale. You can see that the things that they have going on. And I think that's like I don't know. I think having it subtle, but also giving like really cool things to entice you to buy, like really cool skins, really cool like bonuses. I'm okay with that, but even PUBG did a better job. I feel like PUBG is very gacha based, and
Yeah, but PUBG kept it. I'll give PUBG a pass because they keep it purely cosmetic. And
don't forget, Fortnite with V-Bucks too, or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. They keep it purely cosmetic, and they do a good job of letting you know up front, hey, this is only cosmetic stuff. It's not going to give you any sort of advantage because that game's like buggy and weirdly optimized anyway. So like having some gear, it probably wouldn't help
PUBG,
you.
Man.
I like watching it. I think so, because if you're good at that game, you're just good at video games because that game is like super hard to play. But yeah, it's just a thing. So yeah, basically Ubisoft kind of fell on their face. They were kind of relying on this game to kind of carry them over because
I don't even know if that was a really good game to rely on because Ghost Recon is not to lie, kind of a failing franchise.
Yeah, and the last one didn't do so well for them either. So they kind of put all their eggs in one basket with that one, and because of the way it happened in a shareholders meeting, they had to lower their financial expectations.
I almost said an EA game, but I was like, man, like I was about to say, like, hey, Ubisoft should have focused on Battlefield instead, and I forgot that Battlefield's an EA game. So.
Yes, and EA should be focusing on Battlefield.
Battlefield, I think I've always liked Battlefield over Call of Duty, but that's a different discussion for another day.
Most definitely, I prefer Battlefield over Call of Duty. Because Battlefield, you got the fucking shenanigans, man. There's so much shenanigans going on in that game. I love it.
Big ass Battlefield, like I don't know. I really like Battlefield, even though I don't play shooting games all that much. Battlefield was probably one of my favorite ones, besides like the Halo series.
So as a result of this, they are pushing back several of their games that were due to come out next year. These games were Gods and Monsters, which actually look kind of interesting. Rainbow Six Quarantine and Watchdog Legions. These all got pushed back. So they can make sure that they don't screw these up, because if they screw these up, they're kind of up shit's creek a little bit.
I mean, they're already going to lose money from this Ghost Recon series.
They are, and they paid a lot of money, and you can tell a lot of money went into it, and they paid for
This also kind of goes to show that the people that are in charge of the financial executive decisions are. I wouldn't say, what's a good way to say it?
Out of touch?
They're out of touch. Yes, that's actually exactly what I wanted to say. They're out of touch. They don't know what's popular. They don't know what's trending.
Their finger is clearly not on the pulse of the gaming community.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, let's put a bunch of money into this. This ought to do well. Push it. Oh, by the way, put microtransactions in this game. Like,
and then have them take it out of the game. Like have it take the player out of the game to go to our store. Like what? Anyway.
Fortnite did a better job. PUBG did a better job.
Yes. And moving along, I can't wait to see Loud and Brown's face on this. There is a Stellaris mobile game
8.
which came out. Actually,
Hey.
this was teased. PDXCon, which is Paradox Interactive, they're the parent company that makes Stellaris as well as City Skylines. They're also a publisher, and they publish and produce other games such as Shadowrun and all of like the super grand strategy games like Imperiator Rome and things of this nature, like the super in depth, all the way down to the metal, massive strategy games. They released a Stellaris mobile game. This came out the Wednesday before PDXCon, which is their big convention, which is over in Stockholm, Sweden. People noticed pretty much within the first hour or two, like, hey, these backgrounds, this is Halo. That's a Halo dropship. You see this dropship? It still has a USMC logo on it. Like, what's going on? So Paradox promptly pulled that down, issued a statement like, "Hey, we're aware of the artwork issues, and we're looking to take care of that. Thank you, blah blah blah." So that pretty much, so their little surprise release pretty much just blew up in their face. At work, I did a little research. There was a coworker and I were talking about this. I did a little research. I actually found a game on the Google Play Store. I didn't document it or anything. I can take a look and post it on the Facebook page here. But there's a game on the Google Play Store. It's made by this company. We actually Googled the company as well. They're based out of China. They made a mobile ripoff of Stellaris, and I guess Paradox saw this and was like, "Hey, instead of suing you into or they can't really sue them, but why don't you guys just take your game, which you ripped off of our game, put our assets on top of it, and then we'll re-release that as a proper Stellaris mobile game."
What the?
And
What?
in the original
What?
And in the original game, there's stolen art assets in that one too. They just switched up those stolen art assets for stolen Halo art assets.
Okay.
So that whole thing just blew up in their
That
face.
is, I mean, all right.
which is very, very rare for Paradox. Like, they're kind of my default developers of the year every year. If I can't think of another developer, they're kind of like my backup vote, because they consistently release very well thought out, very detailed. But there's some bugs going on, but their stuff's like very thorough and very complex, so you can kind of get over kind of the issues because there's a lot of shit going on. So yeah, it was really weird to see them get greedy and try to cash in on one of their popular IPs and get lazy, and they totally got burned for it, all on their own. So yeah, had to bring that up.
Blunder. What a blunder. That's actually pretty blunderous.
And then this next one, I'm gonna try to make it quick. You guys rush me along if not. Again, that's very near and dear to our hearts on this show. It's a shame Von Shady's not here.
We talk about it very often.
We are talking about Fallout
Dang.
76, you guys. This game will.
We always bring this
This
fucking
game will not.
up.
But you know what? We
bring it up like every month. Like once a month.
It's not our fault though. This game will not fuck off. It will not fuck off. It is the game that just won't fuck off.
Because they started having these subscriptions to fall. First of all, like, did people play 76 enough for them to start justifying subscriptions?
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard Goon correctly. Bethesda announced a $13 a month or $99 a year, which saves you $36. It saves you $36.
But $13 a month, that is so...
It's called Fallout First. And basically, it's a subscription service which offers private servers. Okay, like keep in mind what I'm saying right here. Offers private servers and a unlimited a storage box, right? These are two things that should probably be in the game anyway. These are things that people have been asking for since.
$13 for those two features?
There's other features, but these are the two main ones, right? So everybody flames them for this shit. It goes live, and guess what? People sign into their private servers, and the shit's been looted already, and there's dead bodies laying all around. Like, somebody's been in my server already. Then they'll start a new private server, and anybody on their friends list can see their server and join it, which is basically the opposite of private. So people also discover when they put their stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of sweet loot and sweet items in these scrap boxes, it eats the shit and it goes away, and there's no way to get it back. So that's what's going on there.
How do you fuck up repeatedly, like over and over and over again?
That's Bethesda. That's just been their MO.
The thing is, like, Bethesda didn't used to be like this.
Actually, technically, they always kind of were. It just got kind of the breadth of their games. Okay, for instance, Morrowind, extremely broken game, but because of its scope and because of what you can do, it was a major milestone. People kind of got over that stuff,
Morrowind.
and especially when it came out on the Xbox, there was literally nothing like that ever before on a console ever. So people got over that stuff and didn't really notice the bugs and glitches. Yeah, people did, even on consoles, and complained about it. But you kind of got over it because of the scope of the game.
You can break the game yourself, playing Morrowind, by just killing key characters.
Yes.
And then saving, and you'll never be able to continue the story.
Yes.
Ever again. Like,
Yeah, just stuff like that. So their games have always been broken, but because of their scope and because of their level to detail and because of their storytelling, people kind of overlook that stuff. And on the PC, people would write mods that would fix a lot of these issues. And I kind of giggle because everybody who's ever only bought Bethesda games on consoles, you've never bought a fixed game. All your games are broken. Even on the PC, where they're still slightly fixed with mods, they're still broken. That's like the most finished version is that you can get on the PC. So like if you've only ever bought Bethesda games on the consoles, you've never bought a fixed game ever. Every one you bought is broken. So this is kind of right in line. And Jim Sterling, who's a popular YouTuber, used to be a writer for Eurogamer and stuff. He had a video today. It was his review of The Outer Worlds, which was made by Obsidian, recently bought by Microsoft, the original developers of the first two Fallouts. His video review of Outer Worlds was titled "Bethesda is Obsolete," and his review is it's half review and half telling you how and why Bethesda is now obsolete. So that's pretty much where Bethesda is right now. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up, and that actually went by a little quicker than I thought it would.
good.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I once again, I really wish the Lord with any of the soft boys was here.
Yes.
Which he hasn't been on in a while.
Yes, but he's busy. He's
He's-
adulting.
I mean, no, he's not. He's just watching pro wrestling.
He's watching pro wrestling and playing Tetris.
While he's adulting.
So watching inferior pro wrestling. He's watching WWE. Boo.
Did you guys, speaking of comeuppance, did you guys hear about WWE 19K, 20K, whatever?
Oh yeah,
the
wasn't
is?
it a terrible?
Horribly broken. Horribly broken.
That's
The next patch, the only patch since its launch, is 2 weeks away.
Oh my god.
The game is completely broken. It's like one of the worst product launches in video games in recent memory, and
Who's
that's
the
what
publisher?
that is
2K.
2K. Yes, so that's another greedy publisher getting their comeuppance, trying to push some shit out the door, and just it's blowing up in their face.
so funny.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, that's also relevant too. That happened like last Thursday when the game.
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
I saw you know what they did finish on time? Is the Superstars commercial with it.
Of course.
Yeah, that had everybody in it. That had freaking Charlotte Flair and Hulk Hogan. And,
It had somebody playing with his daughters or something like that. It had a wrestler and his daughters were playing it.
oh,
There's something like that I saw. Yeah.
maybe I saw a different one.
Yeah, there's one with like somebody's daughters playing it, and I'm like, how are you playing this broken game? Yeah.
They weren't.
Nope. Not at all.
Or they
So-
were probably playing on a Mac, since that would probably run it pretty well.
Yep, with the PlayStation controller. Do it.
Yeah.
Check out the Mac version.
The Mac version.
Oh my god.
Okay. Last topic from me, and this has to be said.
Okay.
This is our good buddies who are taking over the world right in front of us. We were talking about it like 2 weeks ago, the last time I was here.
Oh, I guess 2 weeks
Well, we
ago.
did.
These are our buddies Tencent, who are
Vince's buddies.
running the world. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last one, but
If you guys are hardcore League of Legends fans, before any of this happened, you guys knew who Tencent were.
yes,
Because Tencent owns League of Legends, or owns Riot Games, to be more specific.
they own 100% of that. And isn't Tencent actually owned by the state?
I don't know.
I think it's actually like a state.
The thing about Tencent is a lot of major figureheads in that corporation are political figureheads.
Yes.
So that already spells bad news bears for just if you guys are super upset and you don't want your politics in video games, that sucks. Politics are in video games now.
Yes, they are.
And they, to be honest with you guys, they always have been. I don't know have you guys been living under a rock, because political affiliations and gaming corporations have always just been there, and I think that people were just kind of turning a blind eye to it. But just a thought. Tencent is a kind of like, if you guys don't know by now, Tencent kind of has their hand in all sorts of pots that you didn't expect them to have hands in.
Yes, they produce movies. The new Tom Cruise movie, the Top Gun.
Oh yeah, the new Top Gun movie.
They're paying for that. They are a co-financer of that. The World of Warcraft movie. They co-finance that. There's a bunch of movies. Actually, here, let me see. See Tencent.
Yeah, Tencent's in a lot more things than you guys could actually can imagine. So they weren't doing just video games. They started doing a lot more stuff in the entertainment industry.
Warcraft, Kong Skull Island, Wonder Woman. They help pay for.
Damn.
Bumblebee, Men in Black International, the new Terminator Dark Fate that's coming out. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the freaking Mr. Rogers movie. Tencent helped pay for that. Top Gun, Monster Hunter.
Oh, that new Monster movie coming out.
Yeah, the new Monster Hunter.
But you got to
they're probably paying for
remember,
that.
so while if you try to dive into it and see are they run by the government, it's not if they're run by the government. Any company based out of China has some oversight from the.
But that's just because of communism.
Yeah, that's because of communism. So yeah, you might not be able to like, oh, these people aren't, government officials that help run it. They're saying like, oh, these investors are from here and these live over here. It's like, yeah, but they're still based out of China.
Another thing with this going on is like, we've talked about this whole Blizzard scenario going on. Well, BlizzCon's just around the corner. And
Big deal.
Blizzard is right now trying to
Put out fires.
redeem themselves. They want to redeem the fans, and they want to show off these new games that they're anticipating to show everybody. I felt like some of their decisions to show these games probably wasn't. They probably weren't going to show these games at BlizzCon, but I felt like to make up for the shit that they caused, they want to make the fans happy again. So I feel like they're going to talk a lot more about Overwatch 2, maybe some more about the Diablo game.
It's gonna get ugly because how are you gonna stop 1,000 people from wearing Winnie the Pooh t-shirts?
Well, I see. This is the thing too. Is I wanted to. I wish I had the chance to come on the podcast last week, but I was a little busy. But I can't imagine that people aren't going to be protesting at BlizzCon. There's going to be some people that are in the background.
It's
going to
gonna
be protesting.
yeah. Something's gonna happen.
It's not going to. I feel like it's not going to impede BlizzCon.
They've already canceled a Q&A too.
Did they really?
Yes.
Woof. Oh man, the virtual ticket is still $50. I thought maybe they might have made that a freebie.
I just discovered Tencent was founded and incorporated in the Cayman Islands originally. So yeah, they're out there hiding billions. And another fun fact: the largest single shareholder of Tencent is a company called Napers. I was like, who the hell is this? Because I was looking at their board of directors, and it's like Li Dongsheng, and it's like Lao Chao Pong Martin, and then it's like Charles Saint Laguerre, and I'm like, who the hell? What? So I'm like looking up this guy. He's on the board of directors. He's an active partner in this company called Naspers or Napers. They're based out of South Africa, and I'm like, how the fuck random is this? Turns out they bought some stock in Tencent in 2001 and invested heavily in them, and now they're the largest single shareholder. I looked up this company. They were founded in 1915 in South Africa and backed up the Nationalist Party. So you know that thing apartheid?
Oh.
These guys profited off of that shit,
Oh.
and they're the largest fucking public utility there.
The
So-
cookie crumbles.
So these guys profited off of apartheid, invest in Tencent, and now they're the largest single shareholder. A company you never heard of
That's some
before.
Illuminati shit.
That's some very Illuminati shit right
And
there.
in case you're curious, and this is only Facebook, this is only Zuck World, which none of us here know anything about. But as far as only Facebook, there was an event, Storm BlizzCon, they can't censor us all.
Yep.
508 people. BlizzCon Raid 2019, 975. Raid BlizzCon 2019, dressed as Winnie the Pooh.
There you go.
1430. Raid BlizzCon 1, that might have been an accident. Raid BlizzCon 2019 as Winnie the Pooh, they can't ban us all. 1200. Storm BlizzCon as Winnie the Pooh, 130.
This is just
Storm
Facebook.
BlizzCon 2019, they can't censor us all, 706.
If even half those people show up, it's going to be a shit show.
We're talking like, I wasn't counting, but we're talking about like, what is that, 4,000?
They can literally ban all those people, but it's too late because everybody's going to have their smartphones and their cameras out. You're going to see a sea of Winnie the Poohs outside of that place. So yeah, I cannot wait.
It's
gonna be
well-deserved.
It's going to be a shit show.
It's well deserved.
Profited off of apartheid. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? So anyway.
But just, like I said before, I said this publicly on social media sites, but just be mindful of who you guys support and who you play. If you want to support a company that has currently going under fire, like Blizzard or Riot, be prepared to receive backlash for it. So I'm not saying don't play these things. I'm just saying that a lot of you guys are kind of thin-skinned, and you kind of get upset when people come at you about their opinions.
Yeah, I mean,
games.
and if it's a game you're passionate about, rightfully so. Like, nobody's bagging on you for that. But just
Right.
realize there's other machinations behind things besides just your games.
Just realize that what you're doing, what you're playing, is bigger than what you are.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
just be careful. If because if you're gonna keep playing Overwatch, man, do you gotta keep playing Blizzard products, whatever, man, do you just remember what you're supporting and what you're playing, because even though you say you don't support, you're supporting by playing.
Yeah.
So
and keep an eye out, because some of these changes are really subtle that take place over time. We've all played a game that gets updated regularly and we're fine, and then they change like one little thing that most people might not notice, but you fucking hate it. So like, just keep an eye out for just the little things, because like they like to add little things in there. So just don't blindly just jump in and just play something.
because I still play League of Legends. Like, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. Like, I still pop it up from time to time. Probably not as much as I used to. I used to play every day. Now I play maybe once a month.
I cannot bag on you because I still sign into the Epic Store and just claim the free games and sign back out. So
And I'm very well aware of what Riot has done previously with its misogyny cases, sexual harassment charges, them being owned by Tencent, who recently has been under fire. They're 100%.
They're
owned by
100%
Tencent.
owned. Yeah.
Like, they literally own Riot Games. So I'm very mindful of what I'm playing and who I'm supporting. Unfortunately, as as Rick and Morty says, that's the way the news goes.
And that's the way. And they also say, don't think about it.
Yeah. So I'm 100% open and willing to accept that I'm supporting a corporation that unfortunately, like, I don't appreciate the values, but it's a game that I enjoy playing. So I'm not gonna just stop playing this game. But at the same time, like, it makes me a hypocrite. So, like, what do I do with myself?
And especially like when news like this happens and you're kind of thinking like, wow, like I am very small but like still indirectly contributing to things. Like I deleted my Battle.net account. I deleted World of Warcraft and all that kind of
You are a
stuff.
strong-willed man.
I was like, bye. Like, dude, my backlog is already fucking crazy anyway. Like, I could do without these like 4 games over here. It's fine.
Strong-willed man, you
Yeah.
are. I will never be able to just be like, I'm never logging on to League of Legends again.
Fuck Classic WoW. I got Classic EQ, bitch. Even better.
I did play, like I said, I did play Overwatch. Someone had a point that there was a bunch of people working for Blizzard making this individual game that have no politics in the whatever. And there are people that walked out of Blizzard.
Yeah.
And I get that there are people that are well intentioned, but I don't think they're getting any money out of me just playing online. I'm not. I don't spend money on it.
The one last thing I want to bring up about this as well is, like, people kind of give like the employees of the corporation shit. What if they're probably good people, but they have to make a living. Like, you can't just shit on these people.
Nobody's knocking them for that, and just working your regular job. Like, you don't always agree.
Well, but
with
like
what's
things
going
like there's
on. Yeah.
people out there that are just targeting these employees, and I'm like, they're not the ones making these executive decisions.
Anybody listen to this podcast and people or you yourself do that, just stop.
Like, look, for example, like, I work at Facebook. Obviously, Mr. Zuckerberg has come under a lot of fire.
I've worked at
especially
Facebook too, yeah.
Especially from AOC.
I worked at Facebook when that whole leak thing happened with the research study. I was working there when that happened, and it was annoying because where we worked, none of us had anything to do with that.
Yep.
And our Facebook was getting spammed with that while we were working at Facebook.
And we're like, yeah, they're not talking about VR. Just leave us alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Don't judge the employees at work. They're just really trying to make a living, man. Like, they're not the ones making these decisions.
For example, we do not represent old Orange 45. We just happen to live in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm breaking any kind of NDA, but one of the best posts I saw was on the internal Facebook, and we'll talk about that after the show because it's fucking awesome, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the internal Facebook is
it's really
fucking
funny.
awesome. Yeah, I miss it. I miss it.
And
But somebody posted, I can't concentrate on what's happening at Facebook because of what's happening at Facebook.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
that's pretty funny. Well, that's a pretty good one. That's one for the books.
And here's a PS.
Oh.
Here's a more you know.
postscript.
This is also Tencent. This isn't exactly video game related. It is, but it's not. But this is also like, be aware of Tencent. Okay, we all know. Well, you may or may not know. Star Wars was never as popular in China as it was in the rest of the world. And that's historically, going back to the original ones. They re-released the prequels over there when those came out, and they didn't do quite so well. Like, they're just not into it over there. Something with the hero's journey and how it translates, Star Wars just kind of gets lost in translation. So Disney is teaming up with our boys at Tencent to release original Chinese novels, Star Wars novels, which will kind of alter the story to kind of make it more appealing for Chinese readers and viewers. But it's Tencent of all people, because Tencent has a huge publishing arm too.
Is the hero going to be General Grievous?
Supreme Leader Grievous. Yeah. So I just thought I would just throw it out there, because once again, Tencent, Disney's like, hey, help us with the Star Wars. They don't like us over there.
If Tencent and Disney start working together more, that's going to spell a lot of political disaster. That's political disaster.
I'm just tripping that Hong Kong Disney is about to open and they can't sell or show Winnie the Pooh over there at all.
Which is hella funny.
There's no Winnie the Pooh at Hong Kong Disney. Think about that. Okay.
Supreme Overlord President, what's his name? Xi Jinping. Supreme Overlord, by the way, not a president. Supreme Overlord. That's what he really is. Let's be real here.
A democratically elected Supreme Overlord. Let's just say. Anyway, we're not about politics.
All right, Putin.
True. Biggest gang.
Closing statements,
Biggest
my
gangster.
maniacs. I'm gonna have to kick this. I want to go. Well, no,
I would win. You should go to him.
Okay, to my right.
So I can just finish up because I've been talking the whole time.
Yeah, I guess
No,
so.
you're good. This is the Saverings episode.
Closing statements to reflect on what Goon was saying. Just be aware of where your money, even if you don't spend money on anything, it's still your metrics. If you're logged in, that's like a number that they can boast to somebody to try to get money for something else. So just be aware of that. Not telling you to stop playing your favorite game. If it's your favorite game, it's your favorite game. All good. But just be aware there's other machinations that go into certain things. Just think about it. Also, what Loudbrow was saying, or maybe it was you again, don't blame the employees that work someplace. When we're talking, perfect example, we're talking about China. I do not mean the Chinese people. The Chinese people are lovely. They're awesome cooks. They're always very, like, seriously, Chinese food, who the fuck does not like Chinese food? Anyway, they're very hospitable. Thousands of years of human history is tied to their civilization. Nothing against Chinese people at all. I'm talking about the state and what's going on over there. So yeah, like, don't blanket a whole people because of what some misbehaving people are doing. And that's pretty much it. Hit us up on the Steam page. Google it. I will leave a link on the Facebook page. Once we hit 50, I've got some really good games to give away. Like, actually, like, legit good AAA solid games to give away. I might pick up an extra copy of Trover Saves the Universe if you're into Rick and Morty at all. That's definitely a game that you want to pick up and play. It's basically a side story, an official side story to Rick and Morty. They're not in it from what I know, but it's Rick and Morty all over. And I'm waiting to see one of those characters randomly pop up on the new season that's starting up. That's about it. Thanks for listening.
Hey everyone, this is Goon. I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of Saverings in a continuation is just, like, be prepared to receive some sort of criticism if you're going to continue to play a game that's currently under scrutiny from the gaming organization, and just be ready to show people, like, be stern with yourself. Like, if someone's like, how could you play that, like, they, like, Blizzard and Tencent are horrible people, and you're like, well, like, I understand that, but at the same time, like, it's one of my favorite games, like, I'm not going to stop playing it because, of said things. And, like, just, if you're going to say that, be ready for, I wouldn't say consequences, but the repercussions. Yeah. So, like,
don't be upset at people that are upset at you.
So and just remember, like everyone has a different way of handling things, and they have a different mindset about how things should be done. So there is really no real true way to approach this. So you just kind of have to trust, like, be your own person.
Be aware.
Make your own decisions. Don't follow an opinion just because the majority is going with it. The majority may go with it, and it may be a good opinion, but there's some things you don't agree with. That's fine. Be who you are. Be your own person. That's all I got to say. Play more video games. And
mix it up.
Smoke more weed.
Support your locals. Smoke some weed every day. Dr. Dre. Anyway, to my right.
Maniacs has been a doozy. I've actually been super quiet on this episode.
There's a lot to take in right there.
Yeah, there was a lot to take in. My closing statement is get out in the real world. It's fine if you're, introverted and you want to stay home and play games, but, if you ever have the courage or the energy to do it, get out there. Sing us fellow geeks in the flesh is a lot of fun. Even even more places are having like sensory overload, like safe spaces. I saw it for the first time at PAX. They made this like little room where there's like no bright lights, no big noises, and people can kind of chill out that have like anxiety. So people are aware of these spaces. Probably at more bigger events. They actually do that at AEW wrestling too. They have like a whole like, it's not like a sensory deprivation tank, but you know, that version of a room. But you know, people are aware and they are being seen. So with that, hopefully that helps you come out and do things in person. For example, like going to Bonus Round Tekken Edition at Trinity.
Bonus round.
Bonus Round. That's my closing statement. Come out. There's a $300 pot. A lot of people to come out. I got like 5 homies coming with me that don't really competitively play Tekken. We're gonna get bodied. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And check out the event. Come meet us. Maybe you'll catch Super Producer. Maybe you'll catch Junior Producer. Maybe you'll catch Mikey. There's a bunch of other floating people that you don't hear on this podcast specifically that often. And let's hang.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have fun. Please follow, like, subscribe us. We are salt underscore tier pod on Instagram and Twitter. Right?
Yay.
Right.
Yay.
And we are on SoundCloud. We are on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We are on
Google Play.
Jesus.
Stitcher.
And Stitcher. All of the freaking fun things. And I want to give a big thanks once again to New Belgium Brewing, Soundcasting.
For sure.
Yeah, Soundcasting Network. And once again, I want to give a thanks to Keith the Boogie and Rena.
Our spirit animal
Our
cat
spirit animal,
over in
Rena.
the corner.
Thanks for coming.
Love you.
And the 2 cents. I believe that's all we have to say, and we will see you very, very shortly. Have a safe Halloween. Drink your water. Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Stretch.
Stretch. This has
And
been
Pop Punk.
this has been a production of the Soundcasting Network. Thank you kindly.
Bye.
Sorry about the extended outro.
Defend Pop Punk.
Defend Pop Punk.
I will literally die for Pop Punk.
So, you know, you were saying good news. Have you heard of that Tim and Eric skit? Kindly.